Hello everybody and welcome back to my Let's Play of Star Trek Judgment Rites. We're on this ship trying to figure out why it's going to be landing on a colony city in the Klingon neutral zone. And as we're here, we're finding out that almost everybody they've encountered so far has some kind of mental or physical handicaps on them, whether it be high stress or mentally handicapped. This one here seems to have a woman who's worried, so let's talk with her and see what's going on with her.
Hi there, I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Who are you? Are you feeling all right, ma'am? Can you tell me what the problem is? You look so sad. Would it help to tell us why you look so down? Hi there, I'm Captain James. Are you feeling all right, ma'am? Can you tell me what the problem is? Hi there, I'm Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. Who are you?
I'm called Maul. My son is Stan Bob, and I failed him. I feel so badly. I'm a terrible mother.
The woman's eyes brim with tears, and she can't continue the conversation.
Hi there, I'm Cap. Are you feeling all right, ma'am? Can you tell me what the problem is?
I'm a bad mother. I tried to do right, get him what he wants and needs. Just so depressed. Everything died.
Who died? What died? I'd like to help if I can.
I did it. I'm a bad person. Killed all the plants, and now they don't produce anymore. I'm not worthy to have a good son like him.
A mother's job can be difficult. I'm sure you did your best for your son. Would you care to tell me about it? Why do you think you were the one who killed the plants? Have you even looked in on them recently? What if someone showed you that you were wrong? A mother's job can be difficult. I'm sure you did your best for your son. Would you care to tell me about it?
Little Stan Bob. I tried to feed him right, give him safe food. He really likes fresh fruit. Now he can't have it anymore, and it's all my fault.
Ma'am, hold on to this idea. It may not be your fault at all. We'll try to help. You have my word. Your son still loves you just for trying. Of that I'm certain. He wouldn't want you to be so sad. Ma'am, hold on to this idea. It may not be your fault at all. We'll try to help. You have my word.
The woman's eyes brim with tears, and she can't continue the conversation.
She said something about plants, but first I want to scan the stuff in this room.
This mechanized food delivery and recycling system is similar to the Enterprise's system. One significant difference is that it includes a scanning feature on the person making the request for food. I also note that the machinery accepts used dishes and reusable materials for recycling, since this ship is a narrowly enclosed system. Captain, of the various mental conditions we have seen among the inhabitants of this ship, most, although not all, have been non-violent. Dr. McCoy may need to examine this data further, but I believe through the food dispenser, the individuals aboard this ship are regularly medicated, often tranquilized.
That's really interesting. Let's see, what about this?
This appears to be a kind of all-purpose first aid station and medical dispensary with computer-aided diagnostics. Captain, from the configuration of equipment here, it is possible for someone to use this machine as a workstation and prepare medicine for someone who, for example, would be unable to come to the station for treatment.
So it's self-sustaining, so people don't really have to have much knowledge in order to operate some of the things on here.
Captain, I think that woman looks like someone we should talk with.
Oh, you're a doctor.
Captain, I'm seeing all these people as being under medication, or needing to be. And they're all unhealthy in one way or another. It really doesn't surprise me that they associate food and medicine. Their veins are probably always swimming with some chemical stew.
The food supply may be at the crux of the problem on this ship. I recommend a close examination of the ship's food whenever possible.
Yep.
Captain, it appears that the inhabitants of this ship take it as given that food and medication go naturally together. With all respect to Dr. McCoy, I would dislike having a physician medicating all food that passed my lips.
We do. Though we kind of had that anyways, but that's another story.
A female, just moving into middle age. Your overall level of health is fairly good. Vital signs are down marginally, and mental readings indicate a chemical array typical of severe depression. However, there are high levels of tranquilizing chemicals in our bloodstream.
Let's see if we could get some food and scan it.
The machine whirs, lights blink, and a pre-packaged container of food is deposited on the tray.
I'm just a simple country doctor, not...
No.
I'm just a...
Very spot kind. Scan it. Dr. McCoy said so rude.
Nothing unusual.
Eh. Well, maybe we could use it on his scanning bed here.
The box of prepared food is light and compact.
Take a look at what I have in the inventory.
A long twist of insulated wire. A pre-packaged meal. A sealed tube with connectors at either end, which can provide illumination when inserted into an appropriately powered socket. A light scans the food box and the computer screen lights up.
The food in this box has been prepared with standard quantities of tranquilizing alkaloids, calmatives, and euphorics. The drugs and chemicals added in preparation cannot be extracted without degradation of their potency.
That's interesting. They just put it in there like it's normal. So it's in this room here. Oh, there's a lot of plants here.
I'm just a simple...
I guess I have to have Spock scan them.
Nothing unusual.
Okay. Scan the plants.
Nothing unusual about...
We are just here to look around, Captain. I'm sure you don't mind.
Would it matter if we did?
Your doctor's discourtesy, though indirect, does no credit to your party, Captain Kirk. I would have expected better when we have done nothing to warrant rudeness.
We need not interfere with one another's activities, I think.
Chlorophyll-based plant species. Minor evidence of opportunistic disease incursion, but that appears to be secondary to reduction in overall plant vigor.
Tap McCoy, see if he can scan it.
A little recalibration. Not like these are people, after all. These plants are dying, Jim, no doubt about it. Basically, they're starving to death for lack of active organic compounds. Fertilizer, basically. I'd say most important are certain soluble phosphorus, nitrogen, ammonia, and calcium compounds.
These plants look brown, pinched, and wilted, although their root systems are as well developed as those in the other hydro bins. Attached is a sealed metal keg with a feeder hose attachment on top. A trace of greenish mold rims the connection joint. These plants look green and healthy, with strong stems and shiny leaves. A Klingon officer whose direct and intense expression never wavers. A Klingon crewman wearing a look of disdain and distrust. A large countertop well suited as a workbench with what appears to be mechanized assists and a hookup close at hand. A small data terminal seems to be part of the design. A large countertop well suited as a workbench with what appears to be mechanized. Captain Kirk, leader, finds this room particularly green. The ceiling supports a complex network of pipes with vines growing between them. The Vulcan raises an eyebrow when he catches McCoy grinning at him, but atypically holding his tongue. The room is filled with the rich scent of growing things. There is much lush growth, and some which is not thriving as well. A gardener's work table is against one wall. Lieutenant Uhura seems to find this garden a pleasant place.
Why would I want to chit-chat you treacherous Federation snake?
Okay.
My aide and I are merely observing both you and conditions on this ship. Should I have an observation to share with you, I will certainly not hesitate to do so.
This reminds me of the Arboretum on Calliope 3, except the equipment didn't look this advanced.
A hydroponics room, Captain. The console against the wall appears to be a workbench.
This might be a nice little garden if they added some rustic wooden benches and a little fountain, I guess.
A shame there aren't any flowers, Captain, but the lushness of the greenery is still very pleasant.
Well, let's see. I think if I go down here... Yeah. I think I forgot to do something now. Scan the blocks.
The blocks are an unusual organic substance high in compounds of phosphorus, nitrogen, ammonia, and calcium. In this form, the chemicals are inert and make a practical non-toxic toy.
Similar to Play-Doh, I guess. But if you know what's in there, that's what McCoy said needed for fertilizer for the plant. So maybe we need to find a way to get him to get us blocks. Whoa.
Captain, we have just been thoroughly and efficiently scanned.
Please identify yourselves. You haven't been in to see me before, have you?
I'm Captain James T. Kirk, commanding the USS Enterprise. These others are my crew. Science Officer Spock, Lieutenant Uhura, and Dr. McCoy. Who are you?
We are the Fays. Did not your parents speak of me?
Captain, note that it identifies itself only erratically in the singular I, and a blend of voices typifies its communication.
Are you suggesting it is a hive mind, Mr. Spock? Or is the voice synthesizer simply programmed for a harmonic chord of voices?
Inconclusive. It may also be that an array of otherwise independent machines have been linked to provide the requisite computing power, although that is an antique and unsophisticated method of achieving this level of intelligence at odds with the overall level of sophistication and evidence. I suggest we pay close attention to both its actions and its words.
Fays, why would our parents have spoken of you?
I am here to care for all of you, Kirk. It is easier for me to care for you when you are younger, but sometimes one's parents are forgetful. We understand. I will care for you now. You will feel better after you eat.
Great. A food-fixating, mothering computer.
It could in fact be very much that.
Fays, you're about to land on a planet inhabited by sentients in the middle of a settlement. If you are in control of this vessel, you must stop. You must not land there.
You will feel better after you eat, dear. Run along now. I'm very busy.
Doesn't seem to listen to reason.
A column of iridescent sparkles and shimmers, punctuated by floating bubbles of colored light, dances around and within a barely visible central support frame. Gazing at it relaxes you and brings a mild but pleasant sense of peace and calm. Captain Kirk is angered by the destruction evident in this room and determined to get to the bottom of it. The guts of this machinery have been torn from the wall, leaving broken plastic and bent metal dangling. It doesn't look like it will ever work again. Fragments of what looks like glass glitter sharply, reflecting iridescent gleams like oil floating on water. Some fragments are larger and some smaller, but it is impossible to tell what the glassy objects originally looked like. Evidently, someone deliberately smashed them, intending total destruction. The guts of this machine...
doing that same.
The room's most captivating feature is a strange column of lights in the middle of the room. However, it's evident that people unknown came through and severely damaged everything they could. Evidently, they didn't hesitate to hurt one of their own people either. A female of middle age is seated against one wall. Her arms lie limply by her sides, and her legs are outstretched, giving her the aspect of a discarded rag doll. She is completely motionless as she stares into middle distance, focused on nothing. The science officer seems quite fascinated with the column of lights in the middle of the room. Dr. McCoy feels sharp concern for the well-being of the collapsed woman. Lieutenant Uhura seems particularly dismayed by the damage done to the device built into the wall.
See if we can scan that woman and see what's wrong with her.
She's cataleptic, Jim. Completely submerged within her mind. Completely withdrawn from external stimuli. If I were to put her arm up in the air, it would stay there until I moved it back down.
She basically just stopped.
Psychological damage or something physical?
I can't be sure even with rather extensive tests, but from the tricorder readings I would say some psychological shock ruptured an inherently fragile cognitive structure. In ancient times they would have said she was skittish or prone to a nervous breakdown or weak-minded. There are a myriad of childhood developmental blind alleys that might restrict her adult pattern creation representation capabilities.
Okay, that sounded weird. We didn't finish. Representation capabilities below the Abrams Uguian Critical Horizon. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. No, that's a Korean name. No, Vietnamese, sorry.
Phone, stop. You're starting to sound like Spock.
You do not have to be insulting, Captain.
Probably insulting to both of them.
There is no response at all. Not even a flicker of attention crosses the person's eyes.
This computer is psychologically unstable. I wonder if illogic.
Captain, this computer shows no attention to logical principles. Therefore, I must conclude that demonstrations of illogic would have little impact upon it.
Yeah, sometimes to get computers working, I think in some Star Trek episodes they try to make it illogic, and it kind of destroys it.
I find the room fascinating, Captain. Worthy of close examination in every regard. I would suggest that Dr. McCoy examine the woman lying on the floor.
That woman appears to need medical attention.
Someone seems to have been quite indiscriminate about damaging everything they could reach in here.
Scan this real quick.
An extremely complex mechanical construct, Captain. Readings indicate this is a functional AI, an artificial intelligence of considerable sophistication. It may not be in perfect condition, however. Certain power shunts may be repair solutions to malfunctioning subsets.
It sounds like you're saying there's scar tissue, where the machine healed old damage.
Precisely, Doctor.
Okay, I'm gonna call a Let's Play here.
Save, new, replace, pre.
I'll see you guys in the next video.